Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Morgan, and bid you all welcome finally to Elex, the game that I'm sure most of you watching this now have been anticipating as much as I have. The brand new game from Piranha Bytes, who we know and love from the Gothic series, and probably at least tolerated the Risen series, but anyway, that's all behind us now, and they're on to bigger and better things, or so time will tell. We will have to experience that for ourselves, but thank you all for joining me for this new adventure. This is going to be a mostly blind Let's Play, series for this. It's not wholly blind. A lot of you probably know that I have done a lot of pre-release coverage for this game on behalf of World of Elex, the World of Players fan community, and I could not get as involved in that as I would have liked, mostly because of the fact that I've been, indisposed with a lot of, personal things lately. My, education and career going on right now. But for those of you who have been following me and have been remiss to see my lack of any uploads or anything lately, don't you worry. School is coming to an end soon. I will have a lot more free time on my hands once again, and this series will probably be what first sees the benefit from that. But I've still got about 6 weeks left, and until then, I'm going to try and do my best to get videos of this out. I'm basically going to use all my available free time invested in this playthrough for your enjoyment. And I actually, when this game is, coming out today, this afternoon, I was in a serious hurry to try and get home and start this, and ended up running into some roadblocks with the fact that my network driver for my PC was really bottlenecking my download speed, so that kind of screwed me up a lot. But as I was sorting that out and all the hiccups that came along with it, I decided that it probably would not behoove me to really rush into this and, get a really sloppy first experience that makes it look bad and does not entertain my audience. So I decided to slow down, took my time, made myself something to eat, got a 6-pack of my favorite beer to enjoy while we experience this, and hopefully we will not botch this first impressions. Now, it's not exactly a first impression. I've played about 15 minutes just to make sure that it runs pretty well, and I have some hit and miss first impressions with it. It's mostly the technical side that I'm not that impressed by, but so far the gameplay and the world itself is actually pretty nice, and I am actually impressed with how well the game runs. I have everything in terms of graphics on max. I don't have depth of field because I hate that. But I have everything here on maximum 1080p, 60 hertz. I do like the amount of options they give you when it comes to this kind of stuff, including resolution scaling. I'm keeping that at 100%, because if I put it anywhere past that, that's when I start to see sub 60 frame rates. But apart from that, this actually runs pretty well, and there are some spotty texture work and that sort of thing, but it's not the visuals that we're here to see, it's the gameplay, the setting, the experience, and anyway, let's not dwell too long on that. I'm going to kind of critique this as I go, because, of course, I will not have time to finish this game and get a full review out in a time frame where anyone will actually be able to see it, but so I'm just going to kind of critique it as I go. It's not all going to be negative stuff. I'm sure it's going to sound like I'm nitpicking stuff, but that's just because that's what I do, and I would love to see Piranha Bytes take lessons from any actual critique of this game. Not that they're ever really going to see mine, I'm sure, but if they take any lessons away from this, and I hope that they can improve on these little issues for the next games just to make a more polished experience that hopefully will not get unreasonably torn to shreds on Metacritic like this is now. For those of you who have actually looked at the Metacritic reviews, I can tell you for a fact that most of those are just absolute throwaway. Don't even consider them. Like, not to bother with the scores, because everyone's going to give it a 10 or a 0. But at the end of the day, I have looked at a lot of the reviews on there, and I can tell you for a fact that most of them have not played the game, because they're critiquing things that I can already tell have been changed since the preview builds, the ones that maybe they played at E3 or Gamescom, possibly. but it's more likely that these people just saw videos and as soon as the game launched just posted scathing non-reviews on Metacritic, so I would not bother with that at all. Anyway, that's enough chit-chat. How about we get started here? I'm not going to talk too much in the intro, but if I have anything clever to say, I probably will. But let's just get going. We're going to go on normal difficulty, but I will actually probably change some of the difficulty settings once I get in there. So let's head on.
Magalan, home to a civilization of millions. Until the comet hit. Earthquakes shattered its cities. Firestorms swept the planet. And as Magalan fell into darkness, the survivors faced a world that was unrecognizable. Fighting amongst the ruins of the old world, new factions arose. The Berserkers, the Clerics, the Outlaws, each with their own vision of the future. But it wasn't only the struggle for scarce old world resources that drove them, for the comet had brought something new. Elex, an element unknown to Magalan. It could fuel technology, change the evolution of life, open new abilities to those with the will to control it. For the Clerics, it drove new technological innovation. For the Outlaws, drugs to free their minds. To Berserkers, it gave the power of magic. Seduced by Elix's power, some began to consume it. Addicted, overwhelmed, most degenerated into vicious, mindless mutants. But there were some who could control their addiction. To them, at the cost of their emotions, Elex offered strength, focus, and stamina. These people called themselves the Albs. Seemingly unstoppable, the Albs have waged war on all who will stand between them and their need to obtain Elex. Advancing from the frozen wastes of Zakor and their fortress ice palace, the Albs threaten the future of all the factions on Magalan. Now, as Alb forces prepare their final assault, Jax, renowned Alb commander, is sent on a solo mission. One Alb, selected to change the fate of Magalan.
That's us, baby. Might want to hurry out of there, friend.
Jax, you've failed your mission. You know our directive. There can be only one consequence for failure.
Oh boy. That seems a little harsh. Hey, that's mine. Get away. Guy's got some deep pockets if he can carry all my equipment without wearing it. I have fingers. So right off the bat, just some visual quibbles that I have with the intro there. There was some screen tearing the first time I did it, which seemed to have been resolved when I turned on, what's it called? VSync, which again has not really affected the frame rate, which I am a little bit surprised. But other than that, it's like there's just some shoddy looking texture work and some really bad depth of field going on in the intro that I don't know. It seemed like it was kind of ignoring some of my graphics options in that bit, even though it was all it wasn't pre-rendered stuff. But anyway, let's not start this on a negative note. Although it's been pretty negative already. We've been shot out of the sky by some possible treachery. That fellow who followed us, Calyx.
Be dead. I better move before they come back to finish the job. And I better find a weapon.
I gotta be honest, I am not that impressed with the voice acting right now, but well, that's a nice touch. You don't usually see water shadows cast on water like that. That's actually pretty neat. So when it comes to water, they actually have done a decent job, although there's not a whole lot of physics to it. Right off the bat, one of the biggest issues I have in terms of the options available to you is the fact that you cannot disable, or at least I have not found a way to disable double tap dodging, which is a huge problem for me because I hate that. I absolutely hate double tap dodging because I am a twitchy motherfucker and have a tendency to just hammer buttons when I don't mean to. So that's probably going to cause me some problems in combat. But, well, maybe it'll be the opportunity I need to train myself out of those bad habits. There's a lot of spots here that looks like you can climb. As much as they said they're going to make this an open world, there is definitely some restriction in the early areas just because they obviously have the direction they need you to go. But one thing I do like, I must say I'm really impressed with, is the fact that as you run around and use the jump key, it is very context sensitive. Like, he responds to the terrain very well. So they've done a good job with that, but it's not nearly as intrusive as, say, Assassin's Creed, when he hold down the sprint key and suddenly he starts running up the wall to your right. So I appreciate the depth they've gone to without making it too extreme.
My system. I feel weak. Think, Jax. My weapons, my armor. Did Calyx take them? No. If Calyx had seen I was still alive, he would have finished the job. It was someone else.
We saw his face, dude.
Enemy territory. If Calyx returns, or if the Berserkers find me, I'll be dead for sure.
Now, I can't tell, but it seems like the soundtrack is somewhat dynamic. Like, it almost seems to respond to dialogue and, I guess, monologues in this particular case. But I can't tell if that's just a coincidence so far. But here's our first experience with combat.
Old ruins. Maybe I could find something useful in there.
I do have the tutorials on for now, just because I don't want to be one of those guys who, it's going to be a little bit annoying.
There mustn't be a scrap of Elex left in my body.
It is hard to commentate while this guy keeps up with his little monologue here. But, I have the tutorials on for now, because I do not want to be one of those guys who says, oh, I know how to play the game, what is this? What do I think I am? 2-year-old who can't play an RPG, and then end up with a kind of Angry Joe kind of moment later where I don't understand anything and I blame the game for not telling me. So, we're going to keep it on for now. There's something weird about the sprint. I feel like sometimes it just does not respond. Like, I was holding the button for a good 2 seconds there. It seems like when you turn around, it takes a second to really kick in. So that's just a minor technical grievance. Now, I don't know if there was like a day 1 patch that rolled out for this. I mean, the game downloaded, and it says version 1.0, so I think this is it. But I do believe that the press release, the press build that some people got was probably, you know, the very final, like, beta build before a full release.
U3, one of my crony units. It looks like it took a lot of damage in the crash. That's unsalvageable. I'm wondering where crony U4 is. If it's still active, then I might find it here in a den. Finding that drone would be helpful. I can't repair this.
Honestly, this voice actor, I don't know his name. I haven't really checked the credits yet, but he reminds me a lot of the VA who plays Jack Sharp in that Exoplanet game, which is kind of amusing, considering that's kind of a space... Oh, something's coming after me. Alright, big boy. So it really tries to make you do combos, because it wants you to get the hang of that.
Rotting technology from the old world. That's all that's here. I'd better move on.
Now, I just judging by pre-release stuff alone... Ooh, we got a bow. By pre-release stuff alone... It seems that, in spite of the fact that the game really seems to encourage combo attacks, combos are an easy way to get yourself killed because of the fact that stamina is such a delicate resource when you're fighting. So, I want to turn off those pop-ups. I don't want that. Don't want aim help. No aim assist. Keep that balanced. In terms of how fast your camo energy increases. Now, I thought there were going to be more options. They kind of boasted about how many options they're going to have, but the fact that they have any at all is actually pretty commendable. So I'll set that to difficult for now. I don't think that affects timing, but you can see the combo meter down on the bottom. So actually, now that I'm looking at it, I haven't really experimented with it too much, but you can see that little white thing that comes on, and it seems like that's when it maxes out. And if you miss your shot there, then you lose it, like you lose that combo. So it seems like it's actually trying to, it's trying to get you to take a kind of a gamble there. It actually makes me think of the, not that I've ever played it, but that like perfect reload system from a lot of like third-person shooters, like Gears of War, where you can do it normally, and it's not the greatest, but it's, you know, you have less chance of screwing it up. Or you can take the gamble and try and get it like perfect, and if you miss like I did there, then you lose it. So that's an interesting approach. That combo meter is basically a way to unlock special attacks. We don't really have anything that great right now, but here's how it works. So that, when the queue pops up, like when you get past that middle bar and the queue pops up, you just press the context-sensitive button, and you pull off a unique attack, which in that case was that little triple bash. There's a lot of loot to be had here. That's pretty cool. Well, just to go kind of in depth with how the jumping and climbing works, I gotta say, I am really surprised at how dynamic it is. I thought they were going to half-ass it because you get the jetpack early on. So I thought they were going to basically rely on that to compensate for the lack of actual, you know, terrain. Terrain, what's the word? The way you respond to the terrain when you're jumping, I guess. But that's not the case. It's actually really... there's a lot of kind of dynamic parkour stuff you can do. So I think they should be commended for that. Alright, we got us an oil lamp. It is broken. Excuse me. Just trying to remember. Damn, excuse me. Trying to get the hang of the controls. So that's quite an epic vista there.
Here in enemy territory. What was Calyx doing here so far from Zakor? If I want answers, I need to find him. And, for that, I'll need weapons and equipment.
So I didn't get a good look at this the first time I went through here in my little 15-minute preview. Because when I opened those doors the first time, it was raining and this whole vista was completely fogged over, so I couldn't actually see. But the... gotta say, the render distance is pretty substantial here. I like how far you can look, and they did kind of boast that anything you can see you can get to, so time will tell if we can actually get as far as all that. We do have a map. Doesn't really seem to show which way we're facing. I think it's this way. So all that does look like it's accessible, and if that's the if those mountain ranges are Zakor, which is supposed to be the icy region of the Albs, then that is really quite a ways off. So that is impressive. That looks to be an extractor, I think they're called. So I'm guessing are some kind of like mining and refining facility for Elex, owned by the Albs. Grab some magnesium torch, aka road flare. Is it possible to kill yourself here? Nope. Man. All that freedom they boasted about, and I can't even kill myself in the first 10 minutes. Excuse me. I'm sorry if I'm like choking up a lot. I actually had a really nasty cold last week. I'm just getting over it. So I am sorry if I cough or sound really congested.
Evacuation sequence initiated. Remain calm and proceed to the indicated exits immediately. Follow all instructions from service personnel. Thank you for your visit to the observatory.
Well, in the event of emergency, you're supposed to use the stairs, not the elevator. So that little heads up could have come sooner.
My jetpack. Finally some luck.
My jetpack.
The guy that took my armor must have dropped it. Now, all I need to do is find a way out, cross kilometers of enemy territory, and find out why my brother tried to kill me. What could go wrong?
You sound American. Why are you talking in metric? Now, I have to question why the guy who stole our stuff, why he left the jetpack down here. He obviously needed to get out of here. And even if he dropped it, I mean, it's a jetpack. You just jump back down, pick it back up, and fly back up. Whatever, I guess it must have scared him. I don't know. I personally would probably get a lot of vertigo if I tried to use a jetpack in real life, but that's just me. I would not survive in such a world. So, like any good classic Gothic game, the first thing we find for our personal apparel is a free pair of pants. With some weird fur frills on it for some reason. Those boots look nicer than mine. Don't know why I can't grab them. A lot of stuff in the sink here. I can't tell if those are shotgun cells or like RX bottles or something. Ooh. Got a little TP. In case I need to do some business later. Now this is a questionable location for a toilet, considering I don't see any signs of a door or any privacy here. I don't know, maybe the people of Magellan did not really have the same expectations as far as privacy that we have in our delicate world. Alright, got some cigarettes. Incinerated and inhaled. Free people. Seems crazy, but some people seem to like them. Useful to sell. So it's interesting. The item descriptions they have seem to be kind of a... oh yeah, we should equip this. They seem to be a... oh, wow. Shot modes, I'm assuming, is like ammo types. Or possibly not. It might actually be a skill that we can unlock. Traditional proven hunting tools. Alright. I apologize again. I seem to keep choking up. Sometimes, like, I'm trying to talk, and then suddenly I can't breathe through my nose, and then I just start choking. But, I think the thought I was trying to say is that the item's descriptions seem to be kind of like an internal monologue of, the character himself. Some of them are a little kind of passive-aggressive. And not passive-aggressive, but a little sarcastic is what I'm trying to say. Now, normally when I do like start new series, I am pretty much guaranteed to scrap the first take of the first video, which I do not have time to do here. So I'm really trying to make it the best I can. And I apologize that my commentary is having so many hiccups, but that's just a way of things. So I thought I was gonna turn those tooltips off. It might be the tutorial mode that's doing that. Oh, action hints. That's what I don't want. So yeah, you still get like the pop-ups of things that you can pick up at least, but you don't get the intrusive pop-ups every time you can climb something or open a door, I guess. I gotta say, the audio design is not bad. Okay, that was supposed to go away. Apparently it didn't. I do have to turn the tutorial mode off. I don't want to go away. It's kind of annoying. Now, I'm using E to take all the stuff, and I don't know why that's a force of habit. I don't know what game I've been playing that's how that works.
Edan, the land of the Berserkers. If they recognize me, they could finish Calix's job for him.
Now, I actually think the voice actor for Jax is actually, funnily enough, the guy who did the narration in the Berserker trailer, which kind of amuses me. I actually want to try something here. What I'm going to do, by the way, for those of you who are watching, after I get far enough, I'm probably going to start doing a live stream where I take alternative paths during this game just to see what happens. One of the things I want to try and find out is what exactly happens if I just kind of plonk people that I see out in the wild. Okay, I literally cannot hurt him. That's kind of stupid. Again, I know it's a tutorial, but all the freedom they boast about, it seems to be kind of marginalized in the opening areas, which is making me sad. I'm a sneaky beaky. Ow! Dude, you already had me at your mercy. Was that really necessary?
Come on, get up. If you're gonna make a habit of attacking people without warning, you should get better at it. I heard you before you even left the ruins.
Someone tried to kill me. They stole my armor and my equipment. Then I find you here waiting to finish the job.
First you attack me, then you accuse me of being a thief and a murderer? If I wanted you dead, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Trust me. You need to apologize.
I don't apologize to nobody, but I guess I will.
Prove you're not the thief, and I might trust you. Only facts matter, not words.
Huh. Trusting people quickly out here is as good a way to get killed as walking around without a decent weapon. Which means you just got very, very lucky. I can help you find a safe place and new equipment, if you stop trying to attack me.
Why would you help me?
That's my job. I look for people out here and help them reach Goliath. You'll be safe there.
Safe? You could be some kind of slaver. What is it you really want?
I want this war to be over. Until then, Goliath needs more people to survive, and people need a safe place to go. Well, a safer place than being out here on your own. But you're welcome to stay and risk being picked up by an Alb raiding party. Between them and the Rotboars, you won't live long. Say, you didn't see anyone else up there in the ruins, did you? You're the first person I've found this trip, and it would save me a trip up there to check.
Now, I don't know why, like, it gives you the option to lie here, but this is the exact same kind of, why this one isn't a lie. I mean, yeah, it's true, there's no one up there. I guess explicitly saying that we didn't see anybody is just explicitly telling a lie. So I don't know why we would do that at all. And he didn't even mention Albs, so I'm not sure why we would even bring that up. Other than to look suspicious.
You can save yourself the effort. There's no one up there.
Well, then you got really lucky. An Alb raider crashed a few days ago, and their scouts came through looking for it. Trust me, you don't want to run into a party of Albs. But, hey, enough talk. You need to decide what you're gonna do. I'm going back to Goliath, and you can come with me if you like. Safety, security, and you can find work to earn enough to buy equipment. If you want a chance to survive, it's the best offer you'll get. That's why I joined the Berserkers. Out here, drifting and hoping to stay alive. I knew it was only a matter of time before my luck ran out. I know joining a faction doesn't appeal to everyone, but it gave me purpose. And what have you got to lose right now? Nothing from what I can see.
It sounds like you've been brainwashed.
Every choice you make adds up in this world. The way you speak to people will determine your course in life. Just take a look at yourself. No armor, no weapons, no companions. You've not exactly succeeded in life, have you? Well,
You have no idea about me, buddy.
whatever you've done before, your life can start again. A new beginning. When the next Alb raiding party comes down from the north looking for Elex, the people of Goliath will defend you. You won't see the inside of a converter with us to protect you. Instead, you'll get a chance to prove yourself. To join us.
Why do you want to help me?
Like I said, Goliath needs people. Warriors, cultivators, hunters, storekeepers. Whatever your skills, we can find a place for you.
And you just take people in?
If you stay, you'll have to earn your place. But be you cleric, outlaw, or alb, that's true everywhere. Sure, you'll get given orders and you'll have to follow the law, but it's not like you have things easy out here. Look, we can keep talking, but at some point, you gotta decide. So, what's it gonna be? Are you gonna stay here, or come with me?
Your actions and words seem to match. I will trust you. For now.
Yes, well, I'll take that as a compliment. You won't regret it. Combat, magic. If those interest you, then the Berserkers offer training to people who join their ranks. We'll make a warrior of you. We should get going. This is Rotboar territory. You won't last long if a pack of them turn up here. Follow me to Goliath, and you can earn the Elex to buy armor and supplies. Trust me, you'll need them.
I want to find the thief who took my armor.
Well, for anything stolen near here recently, I would start with Ray. He's an outlaw I found out here a few days ago. Very jumpy. Definitely looking for something.
Where do I find him?
Huh. I don't know. He disappeared off to the northeast. I'm guessing he went back to Tavar. But, hey, I wouldn't rush after him. He's probably sold your armor by now.
We can't take that chance. I guess we can. That's sounds like a long walk to me.
Come with you to Goliath. Lead the way.
Then follow me. And if we lose each other for any reason, you'll find Goliath to the east, at the foot of the mountain. Just look for the light from our mana shrine. You can see that from a good distance away. Oh, and the name's Duras. Pleased to meet you.
Just lead the way.
Very well. And keep up. Keep your eyes open.
It's kind of funny how he doesn't expect us to,
And
doesn't
neither of us want to end up as Rotboar food.
music ain't bad, but it is a little intrusive sometimes. But it's funny how, like, Duras does not... I don't know why his name is still floating on our HUD here. But he does not seem to try and ask our name. And I find that a bit amusing because obviously if we tried to give a name and we gave our given name, we're famous enough that he would know who we were right away. So I'm guessing that was a bit of a display glitch with his name kind of floating there. But one thing I am curious to see, which I think will develop, but maybe not develop to my liking. Obviously, we were an Alb, and that meant we were sold on the creed of the Albs, which was kind of survival of the fittest and all that kind of thing. So obviously we must, to get as far as we had, we must have a lot of blood on our hands. I kind of wonder how it's going to develop, how we kind of come to terms with our crimes against humanity as we start to associate and make relationships with these people. And I do wonder kind of where Jax's story started as far as that's concerned. It is interesting that Piranha Bytes has finally decided to actually make a character backstory instead of having a nameless hero. But it remains to be seen if they actually pull off anything decent with that. Powerful mana plant.
Let's go.
So I have not seen the crafting system yet, but I figure while we're here, since I haven't done it yet, let's take a look at the character kind of score here. This I'm assuming is the that's a bit strange the way they kind of have this. I can't see if there's an actual meter here or what, but I'm guessing there's some kind of like compass thing, and we must be starting out cold because we're an Alb and we're just recovering from our Elex addiction. But I don't know how binary the morality system is really going to be in this game. They played it up on how it's different than good and evil. It's logic versus emotion. So I guess time will tell what that looks like, but hopefully it's not as binary as your classic morality system usually is. Alright, now as far as leveling up, my understanding is that attribute points are something you can level up from the menu as you level up. So you get the 10 learning points, or attribute points in this case, and you just apply them immediately instead of looking for a teacher. But skills are stuff you actually have to find people to teach you, and I did take a glance at this. At first, I was not impressed with the amount that's on display here and really the depth of it, because, I mean, melee combat, increased damage, that's it. Range combat, increased damage. Heavy weapons, increased damage. And then you get some of these other modifiers. Attack strength, increased power of your strikes with each level. I mean, how is that any different than increasing damage? Reduces knockback with parries. Heavy punch increases damage dealt of your special attack, which I'm assuming is the Q attack. And then you get some of these like basic, mutant killer, machine killer. That's kind of like orc hunter and that kind of thing from from Gothic 3. Jetpack attack unlocks the ability to do a jetpack melee attack. So that's the only actual functional skill that we see here. The rest of these are just static upgrades, and that kind of disappoints me. But then we get survival mode stuff. This seems to be resistances and hit points and that kind of thing. Reveals all teleporters on the map. That seems pointless, but that's interesting. But again, all these you have to find a teacher for, so it's not like you can just get these and just immediately start applying them. Here we have crafting skills. Goldsmith, create rings and amulets, create certain weapons with magical gemstones, or no, that's equip weapons. From what I hear, there is no, there seems to be no actual crafting of weapons in this game. It's just upgrades, which it's nice to see that they've done that finally, but the fact that they did it at the expense of a crafting system for weapons, like a smithing kind of thing, does disappoint me. But we'll see how much I missed that in time. Now this is interesting. This seems to be certain kind of perks. They call it personality, but it seems to be kind of like intelligence skills, I guess. There's a lot going on here, though. That's interesting. cold levels between 8 and 1000, you receive a bonus to range damage. There's a melee damage bonus of cold is between 40 and 60. Cold eyes between 0 and 20 get a bonus on magic, psi, and stim duration. So I guess 0 is the bottom for cold. My goodness, I'm really dying here. Is the bottom for coldness is 0. And 1000 seems pretty extreme. Maybe they meant 100. So that might be a glitch in the display, in the text here. Friend of Beast stops weak animals. Ho, ho, ho! That is awesome. I am actually really excited to see that. That's going to be so nice when we're just running around later in the game. Reduce the cost of paying fines paid for committing crimes. Now this, I question how much use this is actually going to be, because from what I have seen, there is no... The crime system in this game does not seem like it's actually going to come into play that much, because if you're ever caught committing a crime, they're going to try and kill you. Like, they don't knock you down and then send you to the boss like they did in old games. Like, if they catch you committing a crime, they're going to kill you. And the only way you can stop that is to escape and then come back. And at that point, you might as well just reload and try again. Increase the fighting strength of companions with each level. So, okay, that's interesting. You can actually level up your companions. I don't know if they level up independently of that. Obviously, we will get into these a lot more once we're actually playing, but this is the coolest part for me. Faction-specific teachers. So when you join a faction, you get their own skill tree as well. And this isn't really a tree, I guess, but they have their own unique skills, and I guess we'll look into these more. I don't know if there's any kind of cross-play with these. Like if you can get the most basic ones, if you're not a part of that faction. They were applying that at first, but that may not be the case. It may be that certain faction-specific teachers can teach you the generic ones, but anyway, again, I don't want to sit here speculating when time will tell us the truth. Now, I've seen, for example, with the Gronk preview, that you can actually wander pretty far and he will still wait for you here, but I'm not going to test that just yet. But we have found a Rusty X, which I'm assuming is better than what we had. This is damage 22 versus Iron Bar is only 20. That means this is really not that much better. It's rusty and blunt. Huh. What's... If you just press the special attack button, he'll scream and he won't do anything. That's actually really funny. I hope they never fix that. If I ever just want to scream at somebody, I just gotta go. That's really funny. See, that's what like a lot of developers, a lot of people shit on games, like developers who just have a problem with those kind of bugs, like the little tiny like funny things.
Let's go.
People will give them a lot of crap for it. I personally find it hilarious.
Okay. Watch your step. I've never come through this area once without getting attacked.
If it's so dangerous, why do you come out here?
Magalan almost died when the comet hit. A living, breathing planet turned to ash and dust. But the Berserkers are using their magic to bring our world back to life. Just look around you. Edan is the greenest place on Magalan. They need more people. And they offer anyone who comes the same chance to start over. We should move on. One downside of all this plant life is that you can't see the rot boards coming.
Apologize, I had to blow my nose there.
Let's keep going.
All right, then follow me.
Proceed, sir. So I am, so far, pretty impressed with the openness of the setting. I mean, it's not that open yet, but... I mean, right from here, I see a lot of different directions we can go and no clear end in sight if we were to take one path and follow it. So far, the breadth of this seems pretty substantial. And I I want to direct your attention, any of you who are interested in reading reviews. I know some of you don't want to get spoiled, but if you are looking for a review, my associate Ravenhearth, along with another member of World of Elex, compiled a review that I will put in the description of this video. Both got access to the preview build for this game, the press build, and put over 100 hours in a piece, I think. So I have taken a lot. I've put a lot of stock in their words because I do trust at least Ravenhearth. He's the one I worked with a lot on the social media side of stuff. So I take his impressions pretty seriously. And one thing he said was just he was actually kind of blown away by how much you can do.
Are you ready to go on?
Just wandering aimlessly and finding places, you know. But I can just look and see that that's very much the case. Now, I am a bit of a hoarder early on in games like this. That tends to go away once I level up my character some more, but I apologize. I'm going to stop and grab everything as I see it.
Ruins over there.
Remnants of the old world.
That was loud.
Reminder that the past can be left behind.
Can we find anything useful there?
Maybe. Maybe. A group of clerics came through this area a few days ago. A scouting party reconnoitering Goliath. Well, that was their plan. Instead, they ran into a group of rot boars. Got chased into those ruins and haven't come out.
You did not think to help them?
Maybe they're alive. Haven't you checked?
Checked on the enemy? Yes, well, maybe you're right. We're all allies in the fight against the Albs. But those ruins are dangerous. The rot boars might still be there. Why haven't you joined a faction?
Well, that was a very sudden change of subject.
Why did you choose to join the Berserkers and not the clerics?
The clerics followed the god Kalan, who tells them technology will save us all. I don't believe in gods, and I don't think boxes of cables hold all the answers.
Interesting thought process.
Maybe I should join the Outlaws.
They might call themselves the kings of the desert, but they're just hanging on to survival like the rest of us. And that survival comes at the cost of anyone around them, even their own kind.
Maybe I should join the Albs.
You don't join the Albs. You're born one, or they choose you. That means most people are taken, rejected, and killed horrifically. The survivors are turned into mindless addicts. They might once have been free people like you and me, but Elex has turned them all into emotionless killing machines. Go to Zakor if you want, but all that will await you is misery and death.
Well, I just came from there, and it seemed like I had it made, but yeah, I guess going back is probably out of the equation now.
I have no interest in factions. I cannot decide whether to join a faction out here. Let's go on.
Well, we have a choice to make. You're short of equipment. We could see if the clerics have left any in the ruins.
I don't know why that... I guess that's kind of... It seems like their idea of making kind of tough moral choices is to give you two options that both kind of suck in terms of dialogue, but hopefully it's more broad than that when we go on.
You want us to go into the ruins?
That's up to you. But there's a risk to that. So maybe we should just head straight for Goliath. I better warn you that the creatures in there won't take prisoners. It would definitely be safer to bypass them for now. So, what do you think? Shall we risk entering the ruins?
Let's do it. What the fuck?
Let's go into the ruins.
A brave choice. Opportunities are there to be seized. Those clerics should be around here somewhere.
So yeah, that definitely is some dynamic audio cues going on, at least. Why does that sound like battle music? It makes me suspicious.
Are you ready to go on?
I am ready. So, I see what happens here. Okay, so he did respond to it, at least. Alright, so combat doesn't seem too bad. I've heard people shitting on it. I don't know. It doesn't seem too bad to me, but it definitely seems slower. See, why do you do that? I didn't even double tap there. It does seem a bit slower than I would have liked. Like, just how long after the input it takes for him to actually attack. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I'm eager to see how the relationship between the factions play out, because they make it seem like they're completely at war with each other. Like, there's no friendly nature to it at all. Just straight up animosity. They hate each other. And, I don't know. Maybe that isn't quite that simple, but considering he has not really expressed much interest in our background, it seems like at least the Berserkers do not just kill on sight, but when they see somebody who seems to be their enemy, I don't think they really hesitate. And I guess that could be just another consequence of the apocalypse, is that kind of survival of the fittest mentality that they're trying to balance with their, greater good kind of approach to things, but I don't know. Look at this old brick building here. Now, I'm no construction worker, but I'm pretty sure when you put bricks together, they don't turn into solid concrete underneath the surface. And I've never heard of using that much rebar on a brick wall to reinforce it, but again, I'm no engineer.
Let's go.
Ooh, what's this now? A mutant's leaf. And what? And hiya! I can't tell if that was a special attack there. I wonder. Let me try something. Oh no, I fucked it up. Okay. So I think the special attack actually depends on what weapon you have equipped, because when he had the lead pipe, he started bashing with it, but with this one it's more of a kind of lunge attack. This is a teleporter, I assume. And I don't think you can interact with it. I think you actually use them. Okay, yeah, use them from the map on your little Pip-Boy wannabe here. Which I forget what they call this. It's actually in the options. They call it an adjutor. I have no idea what. Excuse me, I have no idea what that means.
Are you ready to go on?
I guess. Dead cleric. Now this is cool, what I saw in here. And they actually did seem to fix it, but there is a,
Are you ready to go on?
there is like a moment that it takes for your eyes to adjust to a change in light. And it was something they kind of did in, oh, something's coming. It was something they kind of did in Risen 2 and 3, but in that case it was more of a terrain thing. Okay, I'm running out of stamina here. I got... Ow! Ow! Woohoo! That was good. That's how you play Elex, I guess. I'm impressed at the loading time, though. That was pretty damn quick. Now, there's no dual wielding in this game, but we have 2 axes. I wish we could have used them both. Excellent.
These ruins look like they were some sort of machine shop in the old world.
You know about the old world?
Only what I've learned on my travels.
Ruins and wreckage. The old world is irrelevant.
Irrelevant? It's where we all came from. The Berserkers want to grow the world back to what it was. The other factions pick through its bones, hoping to find the technology it left us.
Interesting. So, for some, I call it into question. Maybe we'll learn more about their philosophy, and I might come to change their mind, but when it comes to the philosophy of the Berserkers, they talk about the fact that they seem to think that technology is kind of what destroyed the world, even though what destroyed the world was a frickin' comet. You know? But their hatred for technology I don't really follow. So we have some old world money here. I can't imagine that's too useful anymore. I'm not really sure why that radio was going off. Interesting. We got a prayer book. Okay, so this is all... Ooh. This item cannot be sold. It's a mission weapon. Classic laser rifle. We cannot equip it. So it's nice to see that they did bring stat requirements for weapons back. So I know a lot of people will probably disagree with that idea, but I personally just like it for the classic Gothic nostalgia. Small yellow gemstone. Oh, wow. Okay. So you can socket gemstones either into your weapons or to your adjutor, which I'm just going to keep calling it a Pip-Boy. I might just call it a smartwatch, honestly, because I like to be ironic. Popular with collectors of antiques, so it can be traded for Elex. Can you smoke cigarettes? No, apparently not. I'm feeling a little stressed. Instructions to make a small energy reserve. Dang, that's a lot of cigarettes. Better not cross state lines with that. They're going to think you're hustling. Dodging taxes. Where do I see recipes? Complete, written. Okay, here's the prayer book. Kalan, you ask our devotion to knowledge, that we preserve technology. We spread your message throughout the land. Convert the non-believers in your great name. Kalan, we follow your path until the day of salvation, remaining pure in thought until the day we meet. Now, that's strange. Usually religious dogma tries to convince you to reject material things, but I don't know how to interpret this map just yet. Thinking this is a treasure map of some kind. Instructions to make a small energy reserve. Use this to create an energy reserve that slightly replenishes mental energy. I'm guessing mental energy is like mana. Alright, well.
Do you often find clerics in Edan?
All the factions come here. For intel, for resources. We all take from each other. At least it's just raids from the clerics for now. There have been wars in the past. And it does seem like there are some clerics who want to repeat those mistakes and take us back into open warfare.
So that's interesting. I wonder about that then, because that does bring some clarification to my question earlier about the... relationship between the factions. So I guess they must be at something of a ceasefire right now, probably because they all just want to deal with the Albs on their own without having to fight each other on the side. So I wonder why they even give the rats a stamina bar. That's kind of funny. But anyway. So I guess right now they're not really fighting with each other, but they seem to have kind of a, shoot first approach if you see them just out in the open, but they're not really sending people to kill each other anymore. Now this is funny. You can read the text here. This is all just English, but they just replace the characters with characters that only slightly look like it. So like this here, for example, says, our purity is Kalan's power, or Kalan's power. Choose your side. I don't know what that one says. It looks like it just says Bill. But this is funny. This artwork here, this kind of crude, looks like a 5-year-old propaganda piece. This is actually fan art that was submitted as part of a contest. And some of the fan art for that contest was actually really good. This one, I think, was probably drawn to appeal to children, which is why it looks a little basic. But this is what kind of amuses me the most. Like, it's obviously supposed to be some kind of Elex mutant. I'm guessing just their way to kind of demonize the appearance of the Albs. But, like, it's this apocalyptic scene behind him with the destruction of their home and, this red sky backdrop. What's he pointing a gun at is a fucking teddy bear. So, obviously this is meant to appeal to children, kind of scare them into subservience with the cleric creed. I think we still got one more. I love how it's called a pick lock back in the good old Gothic 1 days. Now I I don't know why it still won't get the tooltips to go away. So that annoys me, and I want those gone. Hopefully that will fix on a restart. There's more to this place than I thought. It is dark as fuck in here. Holy shit. My eyes can't adjust as much. So that's broken. We can't use that. Someone coming after me? I hope not. See, that propaganda poster on the wall, that was also part of the fan art. Put that on. Okay. I actually do quite like the lighting system. As many gripes as I have with a lot of the graphics here, the lighting system is actually pretty good. But yeah, so that's another propaganda piece drawn as part of the fan art contest, and that looks professional. That's really good. Get us some soap. I can't take those calipers there. That's a shame. So the fact that he's holding the torch in his right hand tells me that we cannot wield a weapon with a torch, which is kind of dumb. But at least we can pick them back up. So I'm glad to see that that has not changed. Oh, there's a mission report. Missed that. Are we still missing a body here? Oh, there he is. Oh no, we're still missing one more. Can I just put it away? Oh wow, I just used another one. That's annoying. Alright, so I'm still missing somebody here. Maybe they're outside. Oh, that was an awful sound. Why is his so big? I mean, not that I am comparing, but... Yes, I must be missing somebody here. I'm afraid...
Looks like someone used this as a camp before now. Maybe I could use it. This place will come in handy.
Oh, will it? Okay. Nice. Cooking meat. Alright, we shall cook it all. Good to see that's still a thing. Now, while the sound design seems pretty good, there are times where it just randomly seems to get a huge volume boost for no reason. Okay, that is weird though. Like, even when we have a light source in hand, it does still take time to adjust our eyes to the dock. And I just double tap rolled again when I didn't mean... Why, God, that's what was happening there. Herm. What am I missing? I swear I've seen all the bodies. I'm scared to go out this way. I think there's... Yes, there are nasty things out there. Holy shit. Well, let's not do that. Tell me, where are they? Well, he's just chilling. So at least we don't have to worry about him running off. Kind of went farther than I meant to, but oh well. Nice. So I think the jetpack, beyond just being... Oh wow, they actually are hiding some secrets. I mean, it's all little stuff, but beyond the jetpack being a way to kind of ascend, it's also to make safe descents, I think. And you just tap the jump key as you're falling. You don't have to like double tap it. So that's a nice way to get down. Now, there's not a whole lot of vertical movement when you use it, or horizontal movement. No, I actually don't want to sleep. He has to go through the whole animation. There's not a whole lot of horizontal movement when you're jetpacking, but when you just tap it like that, you can actually clear some good distance. A fine cup of joe.
No, I'm not good enough for that.
As far as the dialogue is concerned, there's something in there, I know it. 4 horses? Oh, 4 houses.
There was something hanging there.
Interesting. What was that about? I didn't know we had such a quest. 4 houses. The slip of paper contains one of the clues to decrypting a code. The White House has been there only one summer. I don't know what code we're looking for. Oh. Let's hear. We're tasked with spreading the faith to this land and are to probe enemy defenses and gain a clear idea of the population. Journey to... Why am I hiccuping so much? Journey to Edan was difficult and long, but we have passed through the forest border at last. We came across the forest people that they did not want to listen to our teaching. They threatened us, and so we withdrew. So, it's a strange land that appears to have a religion of its own, a primal, ancient worship of trees. So I'm guessing... It doesn't seem like the clerics are always coming out here to raid stuff. Sounds like they're also trying to recruit and you know, play the role of missionaries as well, doing the old wallalo thing. Hop down. So as long as you know what you're doing... Oh, there we go. As long as you know what you're doing, it seems like, you know, making a hasty escape by dropping down is actually pretty easy to do. So the jetpack kind of trivializes falls, I guess.
Here, I found these.
Elex technology. It's forbidden to berserkers. Officially, you're supposed to hand it in when you arrive in Goliath. But that'll be your choice. Just don't go flashing those weapons around when we get back, okay? Some berserkers are really strict about the laws. Others are more lenient. You see, we leave the Albs and clerics to rely on machines. In Edan, we use magic.
Magic?
Let's go on to Goliath.
Right. Follow me.
You say there were Albs in this area. How long ago was that?
The raider crashed a week ago. It's been quiet since then. Well, apart from the scouting party on the edge of the forest. It feels like something serious is brewing up there in Zakor. And that's bad news for us all.
Now, I gotta say, I'm not that impressed with... Hey, buddy! I'm not that impressed with the voice acting. But I'd say it's kind of ranked somewhere between Bethesda and BioWare levels of, you know, kind of apathy from the actual voice talent. Not apathy, but kind of like indifference. None of them seem to be taking the roles too seriously.
To go on?
I am ready. So I got an achievement, I think? Or was that like a perk? Not really sure what it was. I totally missed it. I don't think it was a new skill or anything, but... Oh, we have leveled up. Alright, I'm gonna hang on to these points because I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do yet. I'm assuming most of my viewers are probably going for the Berserkers. And probably want to see me do that as well, but...
Let's go.
While melee combat will probably be one of the bigger focuses of this game, I want to see how broad the magic spells really go. So I'm starting to see that a bit of the Gothic 3 AI nonsense come into play here. The way he seems to run straight past enemies, and it really takes his AI a little while to register them.
We should get moving.
But at least he does register them at some point. Hey, there's people over there. They're fighting something. Those berserkers. Oh, do you mind if I go take a look? Whoops. Oh. No, they don't look friendly. So that's one thing I have to get used to. You have to... Now, this was true in Risen 2 and 3 as well. You have to aim with the right mouse button. But that was with guns. And with bows, I'm still used to, Gothic 3 and Risen. So I keep just doing the quick draw by accident. Ooh, we got some natural Elex. I'm not sure what that means. So I know you're supposed to be able to consume Elex, but Elex itself seems to just be a currency. So maybe natural Elex is like the consumable version. But I don't see that being the case just yet. Natural Elex Albs consume it for strength and to reach the next level of evolution. It can be transformed into other forms or used to power technology. Resistance Frost. So you can just consume it. Only offers frost resistance. Doesn't seem that useful, but I guess that explains why they're up in the icy region. Alright, we are at quite a bit over an hour here. But I want to finish looking at this last area, and I'll probably publish this as a nice long premiere episode for y'all. Because, again, I won't have as much time to do this as I would like. So I figure a nice lengthy opening episode will satisfy y'all for now. Anything up here? Gotta say, I'm taking an immediate liking to the jetpack. Alright, well, he's not gonna follow us down here, but we can... I'm sure he'll wait for us. I thought that was a television.
We need this damn thing, but these mutants are everywhere. There! There, you hear that? They're coming from above. Hey, you idiots! Move your asses and get them!
Okay, that was very worth recording. Honestly, that bit sounded a bit more like Deus Ex quality voice acting. Oh, hello. I hear you. What are you? Yeah. Ow. Okay, good thing I walloped that fucker. But was not expecting him. I am actually surprised at their aggro range. You know, they seem to notice you a lot sooner. So enemies in this game are not that easy to avoid, it seems. Oh, well, you didn't make it far. Requiesce got to... You're up there, dude. I'm down here. I'm not sure why he's still running. He just looks like he's just chilling. I mean, doing a little assisted yoga, perhaps. Well, these guys all look like outlaws, and I guess that name kind of confirms that, but... Wonder what they were all doing here. Alright, well... Rest in peace. Now, I know you can't swim in this. But I guess this is not swimmable depth. A lot of junk out here. Yeah. Yeah, I really like the jetpack. I gotta be honest.
We should get moving.
Hang on. That red zone seems significant. Okay, I thought it might have... Yeah, actually, it regenerates slower when it's in the red zone. And I don't think... It can't keep it activated past that. As you can see, it cuts itself out. But you also cannot activate it when it's in the red zone. So keep that in mind, people.
Let's go.
Little PSA for y'all. I guess once we get to the gates of the city, I'll call it a night. Let's try some more archery. Ow! Little horn dog. A young spinehound. Young Zwinehound.
We should get moving.
Should probably, heal myself. Let's get some eat what is cooked, drink what is clear, read what is true. Interesting. Nice philosophy on the side of my booze bottle there. Put that at 9. I hate that you can't see the quick bar when you're in the menu. That is unfortunate. Small healing potion, we'll put those at 5. Okay, that seems to be... So, food seems to act like provisions did in Risen. Or Risen 2 and 3, at least. And why was it green? I would not eat meat that is green. I'm assuming that was just some generic model. Okay, yeah, it looks like he's eating like a... You know, bar of taffy or something.
Are you ready to go on?
That's actually kind of disappointing. Honestly, Piranha Bytes, I would have expected better from you. And it's drizzling rain in broad daylight.
Let's go.
Alright, looks like we're just about here. Look at that. A very classic looking fortress.
You should be able to make your way on alone from here.
Yeah, it isn't very far, is it?
Get yourself back on your feet in Goliath. And then, the choice will be yours.
So I can just leave whenever I want.
You should try to get a better weapon and some armor before heading into the wastelands, but that's up to you. Have a look around our community. See what we can offer you.
What happens if you find an Alb here?
They try and kill us, so we kill them. Except the Separatists, a group of Albs that has broken away from Zakor. Maybe they could be allies.
You think the Separatists will help you fight the Albs?
Maybe these Separatists want to join the Free People. Maybe they're just another threat. But I'm sure that together, we can defeat the Albs. But, for now, the Separatists are outnumbered, without friends and defiant. They're already finding life is hard out here if you haven't joined one of the factions. That makes them jumpy, so I'd be careful around them. They're suspicious of everyone. Well, we have reached Goliath, but this is only the start of your journey. Look for me once you've settled in. You'll find me up at Warlord Ragnar's stronghold at the top of Goliath.
I hope the Separatists are not as basic as he just made them sound right there. It sounds like, oh, we're Albs, but we don't like being Albs, so we're not Albs. So hopefully they have a bit more to their backstory there. And who knows, maybe they are actually legitimately, opposed to maybe the actions, but not necessarily the ideals of the Albs. But I don't understand why a group of former Albs, if they rejected their Elex addiction would even identify as Albs at all. It seems like, if you wanted to get away from that philosophy and that community, you would just reject it instead of just trying to say, oh yeah, we're former Albs, we don't really like what they're doing, but we're still gonna kind of act like them. I don't know. I guess we'll pay them a visit someday and see what the deal is. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching this premiere episode of this game. I'm enjoying it so far. I know that maybe my enthusiasm is not being reflected too well. I apologize again. I'm just not really in the best health right now. I'm still recovering from an illness, and I'm still a very busy person at this moment in time. So I'm just trying to do what I can when I can. But I am excited to keep this going. I'll play some more this weekend, and for the record, I have made the decision to record this with the NVIDIA Share, what used to be called Shadowplay, and I still want to call it Shadowplay. I don't normally do that because it does cause some audio glitches, and it's not a very high quality format that it outputs to. The encode is just not, it's not a 100% lossless kind of encoding process, so but the reason I choose it is because it's easier, it's dependable, mostly, and it saves a lot of disk space for me, so I can keep this going. I can record whenever I get the chance, and then should be able to upload these a lot easier. I probably will not go as in-depth with the editing that I normally do on my walkthroughs, because those are more professional, I guess, because it's me trying to make more of a walkthrough than just an LP. But since this is all blind and everything, I think I can get away with kind of half-assing the editing. And since I'm trying to show you guys the whole experience of this game, I don't want to do too many cuts anyway, so this does behoove that kind of editing process for me, so I can get these going a lot faster. But just as a reminder to all of my long-term viewers, say again, I will be done with school in just a matter of weeks now, and once that's done, even though I will be in the busy season at work and working a lot more, I still should get a lot more time back. I'll have 2 days, I'll have like a normal weekend again. As it stands right now, I only get 1 day off a week, and I spend most of that sleeping and doing errands, so I just try to get these done when I can. But once that's done, I'm going full bore on this, maybe throw in some Witcher and Dragon Age when I have the time, but until then, this is what you're going to be seeing, and I hope to get at least one of these up a week, probably around 45 minutes to an hour in length each. So my brain just kind of trailed off there, so I'm going to call it here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. Subscribe to me if you have not already, and we will be bringing more of this Elex hype train for y'all in the short order. So thank you once again for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful night.